Hi, this is Nate with Keysoft. Today's quick tip, I want to look at plant lists. KeySCAPE comes loaded with a bunch of plants. We can go to the database manager here. Once that loads, initializes for the first time, we can see that there's about 9,000 plants plus or minus in this list. We've added a lot of plants, either they're carryovers from the old LandCADD system or things we've added from our UK users. Uh, but it's not an exhaustive list, and it really can't be. We have customers all over the world that use this software, and it's just not feasible to have every possible choice in here for each specific region of the world. So what we do is make it really easy for customers to add their own plants. Now this can be either through some projects you've previously done in KeySCAPE, and for those you can quickly, for example, this project here already has a nice plant list built out. If I want to save that as a separate list, I can use this button to extract my plant list from drawing. And what's that going to do is it's going to put it in my database as a separate plant list. So let's bring that back up again. And again, my plant list is pretty big, so sometimes it does take a second to load that. But once it's open, we can see under projects, I have a couple of these projects that I brought in, and here are the plant lists. The other quick way to build out your plant library with your preferred plants is to import Excel files. And what I've done here is I've got a few open on my screen. So this is a plant list I actually exported from KeySCAPE. And this is kind of the format that KeySCAPE prefers, although there is some flexibility here. Basically, you just need to have things in different columns. So scientific name, Latin name in one column, common name in another column. I mean, that's really all you need to get started. But you can have other information too, like abbreviation. It does help to have the species group listed. And then all these other fields here, height, spread, girth, pot size, all this can be filled out if you want, or left blank and filled out later within KeySCAPE within the database. So for example, here's another spreadsheet I pulled in from CalSCAPE, California native plant database, and I filtered it by trees that are native to Napa, California, and that are commonly available at nurseries. And these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trees that came up. Let's take a look at bringing in this list too and see what the formatting challenges might be. So to bring in a list, we're back here at the database manager. We're on this third tab over, planting lists. This first area is groups. We can have as many groups as we want, and we can make these groups whatever we'd like. So right now I just have custom, just this master list and projects. Maybe I want to do a new plant group and call it, let's just go by region and say California. And then underneath that, we can have all these different lists for different regions of California. So for example, let's bring in that Napa list. I'm going to import plant list. Oh, and it's important that you have the list closed before you try to bring it in. I believe it's here. Open. And now this is the import dialog. So this looks a little bit overwhelming, but let's go through it piece by piece. So this plant list is going to be called Napa native trees. Again, these can be organized however you like. Now let's look here at the right hand window. We can see a little preview of that spreadsheet. Column 1 here is this popularity ranking. That really doesn't mean that much to KeySCAPE. What we really want to get is common name and botanical name at this point. We can add other stuff in later using the same method or manually within the database manager. So we know that, okay, so column F2 is common name, so let's pick common name. Column F3 is our scientific name, and so just select name from the pull down. That's really all the information we need for now. Then I am going to highlight the rows I want to bring in. So I want everything from Coast Live Oak down to Interior Live Oak. And what I did there was either a control. If you hold down control, you can individually select rows like this, or you can click the top and then hold down shift and grab the whole list there. I want to avoid bringing in these headers. These are just going to bring in junk into the database, and we don't want to do that. We really only want these rows that are actually plants. The last thing I'm going to do is decide if I want to check this box or not. Prompt for species group for all species. So if I have a mix of plant types, say I have some shrubs and some trees, I want to prompt for species group for all species so I can then choose what category they go into. We'll just select that just for the sake of showing that, but we know that these are all trees right now. So let's click OK. And now it's going to ask us to what kind of plants these are. So I'm going to select all of them. These are trees, and I'm going to apply to all of those. Click OK. So now I have a new list called Napa Native Trees, and here it is. What happened is any tree that was already in the master database that was over here, if I go trees and species, any tree that was already in this list was not duplicated. It cross-checked the master database before it inserted anything new. Now things like this California laurel, I know that wasn't in the database, so that was added as new. So now I can click finished, and if I want to insert a new tree, I can find that either from the master database or from that specific plant list. So let's go specification, like we're going to insert a new tree. Let that load up. And now under tree, we can scroll down and find that. But if you don't want to sift through, again, those 9,000 plus trees, we can go to our plant list tab, go to California, Napa Native Trees, and find what we wanted here. So much quicker workflow. Let's do that one more time. I'm going to go back to, let's let that process, back to my database manager. And I want to bring in a plant list that was formatted more cleanly. So that's kind of what we recommend doing is taking a list like one from that Cal plant site and formatting into something closer to this. It just makes it a little bit faster to bring in. And this kind of shows you all the possible options. So if you want to go through here and add a height to all of these, or a spread, or a pot size, it's much quicker to do that within Excel than to do it within the KeySCAPE Database Manager. So let's save what we've done here. All right. And now let's bring in that under project. So let's bring this in as a new project. And again, you can have these categorized any way you want to. Let's open this one. And because that was formatted as a native KeySCAPE list, I didn't have to do any formatting. It already knew exactly where things went. So it's a little bit cleaner when you're working with a template like that. So just a couple ways to get your custom data into the database quickly and easily without going through this laborious one by one modify, add, blah blah blah. It's much quicker to use the Excel format. Thanks for watching, and again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to the support team here at Keysoft. Thank you.